Right. So for this video, we are going to be working on the collision polygons for our floor, platform, flip, and eventually an edge sprite. So to begin, let's open up Flip's attributes here. Navigate down to this item here. So the collision polygon is what we use to define when our items collide with other items. So once we select the icon, you'll see the boxes around. Start by right-clicking inside and select Set to Bounding Box. It's going to guess the shape of our character. Now, if anything hits this box, so if a box collides with this box, this is how we're going to create some interaction between our characters and our objects. To get a little more exact, start with the top left. We're going to change the coordinates to 17, 0. Next one, 45, 0. 0, 45. This one's not quite, I think I was a little off. And this one, roughly 17, 100. Okay, once we do that, in order for us not to have to go through all of these, what you can do is right click, go apply to all animations. Now when we click through our jump, you're going to see this bounding box exists, walk, and I like to just go through and click one time just to make sure it worked. And it looks like it did. So now we have a consistent bounding box on all these so that the interactions will be consistent between our characters. Next, we're going to open up the ground. So again here, this one's a little different. So the bottom, those can stay. The top, however, we want to have 0, 9, followed by 572, 9. This way, what happens is we have this little edge up here. So it's going to illustrate, it's going to actually look like Flip is on the brick instead of almost floating above it. So we can exit off here, open our platform, and we're going to do very similar here as well. So we're going to right click, set to bounding box, and then adjust just our tops. So we're going to go 0, 6. We'll go 55, 6. 55, 40. And then 0, 40. So that one's good. So now when Flip hits, it's going to cover up this top spot, give the illusion that he's actually on top of the brick instead of floating above it. Go ahead and exit off there. Next, we're going to rename our sheet. So now that we're going to expand eventually out our levels, come up to your layout 1. We're going to rename this level 1. The sheet then that should go with that will also rename to ES level. Now, in order to create a larger area for our gameplay design to be, we're going to select level 1 and change it now. Instead of 1280 by 720, we are going to change to 2400. However, now that we have this white space and nothing there, we're going to want to match the length with our background object. So if you navigate down to your background object, it's locked. So we're going to have to start by unlocking it. Go down to our size, select that again. There we go. Change this to 2400 so it matches the background of our gameplay screen. So now it's duplicated itself. We have a much longer gameplay screen. Once you do that, please lock your background. Now, if you click, you're not going to move the background. There's no way we can alter that background. select your ground, hold control down, and as you do so, drag over. Okay, we want to make more of our ground object. So we got a little gap there. So go ahead and do this. All right, now, so I've added a few. You see the ground could be repositioned a little better. Added some platforms. You can always zoom in, help you to better adjust your platforms, but all these things can be duplicated holding the control key and then dragging that item. So if you hold control, click, drag, and this is important because then it keeps all the same properties. We're not making separate objects and creating a mess for ourselves later on. Now, if we were to run this and try to move flip, the background, we need things to move together. So to do that, select flip. We're going to add a new behavior. So we've done platform, which is gravity. Now we're going to do scroll to. So this will allow our item, in this case flip, to move along with the cursor and the movement of the background. Finally, we want to make sure flip cannot go off our gameplay screen. So to do this, we're going to add some blocks. We'll go insert new object, go to sprite, just call this edge, insert, select, and we just want a box. So we don't have to add anything from our file. We can simply fill it in. So I don't know, I'll go red, kind of like danger. There we go. Go ahead and exit off. You're going to see we have this box. Now just manually, I find that manually adjusting the size usually works just fine. Oh. Now what you want to do is just click and drag. They have recommended sizes, but really what you need is a horizontal bar going the length of your gameplay screen. And then we're going to position this just on the outside. So we're creating an outside wall. Anything in this gray space functions within our game, but the user cannot see it. Okay, so this allows us to do like secret hit points or secret boxes. So we can go here. We want to make sure it has a solid behavior. So it's going to act like a wall. And then make sure it's enabled. So that solid attribute's enabled. So just like before, we want one on the left and right side. So we're going to hold down control, click. Okay. And we can now just drag this to the far end of our game. Now these will both be solid base walls. Won't be interact with. So if we launch it, what happens? We have here, and you can kind of see that red. So I could move it off, move it away. There we got some movement. So if yours is a little jittery, you can adjust your collision boxes on flip or on your objects. So there we go. We're good. We got jump, move, shift. All right. So with that, you should be done with this section. Next, we will go through and add super jumps.